bonjour.
Lucky, eh?
Yeah.
Do you know that the link to
Yes.
they put 4 duffers?
Yeah, they put 4 days. I know. I know.
First it was like,
Yeah. I'm in tech, the website, it's straight.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, when I saw it,
3 minutes, donc je peux aller aux toilettes. It's a new.
But then I,
Yeah? Oui.
Yeah,
yeah, you know, I'm very tech-savvy. I know how to remove one letter.
And you're part of the organization?
Yes, we're at Kaznia.
It's very nice to meet you. Louis, yeah, exactly, like the French way.
And buy it online or go to
But it depends, like sometimes in English, people call me Spanish.
yeah. And so your last year?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one can pronounce it. In Russian it's a bit different.
Okay, how do you say it properly?
In Russian, Polina.
Alina.
Yes, we do Polina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alina, yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy.
Oh, okay, because it's a O, that's why.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
understand why they're saying this. Oh, so you're KaiZenMacht.
Just KZN.
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 Okay, perfect. And where are you guys from?
Cambridge.
British Columbia. Okay, it's like the northern part of BC.
Kind of. We call ourselves Central Interior.
Central interior. Okay, that's good.
Very central. The central Canada.
Close to Seattle. Close to Seattle.
Oh, so it's closer to Seattle.
It's 5 hours from Seattle.
Are you like you could take like the ferry to 13 to 3
Yeah, you have to go to Vancouver first.
Okay.
Then take 5 hours.
Okay.
Seattle is about 300 kilometers.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because I've done it. The trip that there's a ferry thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cost is like for us to go to the island, it costs well over $120 to have the island. Which means that I family there, but once they factor that into the cost of that most costs less than
Yeah, that's it.
Ferry rental is an hour and a half to 2 hours.
But I mentioned the neighborhood.
We walk on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we're going to start again. Please take your seat.
Oh, nice to see you.
Want it?
We didn't have the chance to chat. So after,
The next team is KaiZenMacht.
Kaznia.
From Canada. You have 15 minutes to do your pitch, and after that the judges will have 10 minutes.
Is there a clicker?
yes.
Okay, so
Yeah, try it just to make sure it's working. Otherwise, the other presenter uses the arrows on the keyboard.
The keyboard.
there's no response.
Okay. You guys use the keyboard.
Okay,
You have to check it out again.
okay, no worries. So
We can do it.
First up. See you again.
So,
That's the presentation?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
all we
it
are
is.
going to
What's
do,
your
nothing
name?
else.
Take your time. Thank you for your time.
Sabi here.
Hello, I'm Kimanis.
Savitri here.
Nick.
And Paulina.
KZM. We engage. We focus on talent management and skill enhancement of the individuals who would like to pursue their careers and also grow in their lifestyle and as well make a difference in the society. It's all about social transformation with knowledge.
I'm proud to live in Canada. We have some of the most educated people in all the world. We have some of the vast resources at our hands. And yet, in this land of milk and honey, I think the milk is turning sour. There's a problem. We can use these resources to house the homeless, feed the hungry, eradicate poverty. But those who are educated often work for a couple dollars above minimum wage themselves. Often one paycheck away from that poverty that we swore to eradicate. This can't be real.
Well, in fact, it is very real. Let me give you some numbers. According to a recent study done less than 2 years ago, every third Canadian is overeducated and mismatched for the position they hold. Part of the problem is that 80% of the jobs are not advertised. They are reserved for people who have connections, who have already worked for the companies. And so a lot of people are just left to their own devices, which results in them earning about 20% less than their luckier counterparts who landed at the job they wanted. I myself have spent more than 8 years in adult education, and it saddens me to see time after time my own students. They put lots of effort. They spend endless days and sleepless nights cramming for exams. And the education is not cheap here. And still, they work at minimum wage. They fail to achieve their goal. Do you think it's sad? If you do, you're not the only ones. People who underuse their potential were found to be to suffer significant health loss. In addition to lowered energy levels and apparently burnout, they show signals of clinical depression. So, is there any way out? Is there any way we can help them? Well, if I'm asking you that question, of course, the answer should be yes. And let me give you another set of very important, crucial statistics. In this graph, we see how likely it is for people who agreed to do a job which is below their potential, how likely it is for them to transition to something better. And you see, if they try continuously for 5 years, it's only something above 15% that they will get a job they want. But if we add just one key ingredient to that, their chances double. And that key ingredient is job-related experience, proper training. So this is exactly where we can step in. We have two sets of population. We have people who are educated, who are industrious, who want to make a difference. And we have companies who need exactly that kind of people. What lacks is a bridge between them. If you are an employer, would you be looking for test results, for final grades? Well, that's nice to have that. But probably what you want is the proof that people can do the job, right? And so that's exactly where we can help. We can provide people with hands-on experience and validate their skills. We can connect them with companies, and show that people can actually perform well.
So what benefits do we have to offer? Social support for our customers, the members that join us, experience in professional business services for those same customers again, and validation of skills for our clients who want those customers. We can bridge this very easily. Has this been done before? Is it possibly done? Yes. I was part of a group called Avatar in 2002, a group of dissatisfied call center workers that got together just as a concept in my garage and said, we got to do something. So we created a vision, a mission. I can give you real life examples. We did skill sharing and enhancement, but what we lacked to make it long-term was continuous revenue, succession planning, and being target-orientated. When I say target-orientated, what I mean is we try to do everything at once. And when you try to do everything at once, nothing really succeeds very well. Yeah. We did have a successful story or two, one of them being Good Times website. We took 4 months and brought together 6 volunteers from completely different skill sets: photography, programming, front-end and back-end web paging, marketing. And for $350, we created a $5,000 website for a company and said, we'll do this for $350. They agreed, we took it on, it was a huge success. The client was thrilled, they held on to it for well over a year for one of the major bars in Chilliwack. And everything was great. But what happened to these people? Well, one of the programmers ended up getting some full-time work in Thailand. Was it a direct relation? Not direct, but there was some involvement because he got to meet people that could help him with this. Another person became a photographer for a car magazine, the person that took the pictures for the website. The other person, although they didn't get out of the call center for a couple of years, I followed up with them and they said they were making over $600 a month through AdSense because he got to meet the people that knew how to do the programming, to create templates, to create the websites, to create that revenue. So what is the process? The same process we're taking from Avatar we're putting to KZM. We're going to pool our members, collect data on what they need and what the clients need. We're going to create projects where we can collaborate with businesses to sell the skills from that pool. Let's go further. Let's have a look at our business model.
You know who we are. You also know what we do. Now let's discuss how we do it. That's when the business model comes in. KZM is a service-oriented company, and we provide services along the lines of business and management services. What we do, we organize workshops where we call experts to come in and delegate the events. We also conduct projects for our members to get the hands-on experience, which we talked about. And we're also going to conduct skill sharing events where our members and our partners can come together and network. I talked about these partners. Let's discuss who are these partners. One, Kamloops Chamber of Commerce. They provide KZM access to all levels of the government. Venture Kamloops, their motto is to support local businesses. What they do, their main job is to provide mentorship for new entrepreneurs. And we, KZM, are new entrepreneurs. Thompson Rivers University, a university from back at home in Kamloops, they support us by providing infrastructure, and we can use that place to organize all KZM-related events. Along with these three, we also have Makerspace, we also have LIU and New Life Community. And as part of the competition, we also have physical proof of their commitment towards KZM. When you start any business, you need to be very aware of our competition. Let's find out what our competition is locally in Kamloops. We have consultant services and headhunters such as Excel Personnel and Ashton. However, we do have a competitive advantage because they charge higher membership fee and they don't provide any hands-on experience. That's what we do. The other competitor is Shaw Talent Management. Hold on. Shaw Talent Management. Their operations is actually very similar to what we do at KZM. However, their target market is more along the lines of art and theater, while KZM, we are focused on business and management. Now the most important question, why do we need the money? Simple. We need the money to get members. Without members, why am I explaining the business model? That's not going to make sense. So we need the members, and we need to get the members by delegating the message of KZM out there to our local community. This is done by a simple process or complex process of marketing and advertising. This is where bulk of our revenue initially has to be spent. Next, we also need, after we get these members, we have to organize events. So when we organize these events, we have setup costs, utilities, we have rent expenses, as well as miscellaneous expenses. That's also our costs. And when we organize these, when we get in these speakers, such as you guys probably in the future, you guys probably could charge us a fee, so that is also an expense for us. Insurance is a costly expense, but it's very important for any business to have insurance. And finally, we also need costs for our wages for our employees. Just like any business enterprise, including a social business enterprise, they have to generate revenue. Professor Dr. Mohammed Yunus has also mentioned many times in the past that our social business model must be self-sustainable. How does KZM generate revenue? One, membership. Our members will be charged every month $25. Two, projects. When we get our members together to organize these projects, KZM gets a 10 to 15% off that project revenue. Three, sponsorship. KZM is going to campaign and get all XYZ companies in our local community to sponsor for us. And finally, KZM, as we did before, they're going to organize fundraising activities to get funding based on crowdfunding. So that's the business model. Let's move on.
So where are we at right now? We have just started. We're like a baby company. We've already managed to bring on board 10 members. We're generating some money, not a lot, several $100s a month, but still. And we plan to get to 100 members by the end of the year, in the span of 1 year. We can probably speed that process up if we get proper resources and enough of those resources. So why us? Probably by now you see that we're kind of passionate about what we do. So that gives us a drive to solve the problem. We have a committed leadership team. We fight all the time, which is a good thing. We have a proven revenue source. We have a plan how we're going to fulfill it. And, which is very important, we already have people and companies on board who are ready to support us.
So where's the future of KZM? We plan to expand to the point where we have a cloud-based talent registry, a community of collaborators where they collaborate online, but they do the projects in real life. They work together and get those skills hands-on. In doing so, we create access for our clients, people who could be potential employers, to look directly into these projects, how people are accelerating in those skill developments, and get feedback. We get a better way to track their success by adding, as we learned this last week, digital badges to get authority. And when we say this person has this skill, they have that skill. Thus, it's an easy way to replicate and expand. Through this, we start off in Kamloops, 70,000 people, 10,000 students, and tens of thousands of people that could fulfill or be in our target market. Then expand to thousands of KZMers across Canada, eventually across the world. These people creating purpose, social impact, and profit for both the clients who hire them, the people that are members, and of course, those that invest in us as KZM. Tell me I forget, teach me I may remember, involve me and I will learn. This is the precept that we have taken to create members that will excel in their progress to get to where they belong. Not promising beyond what they have, but what they've offered and already studied for. Let your potential shine, potential performance. That's what we want to show. All we ask is that you come on our journey. Thank you very much.
Okay, it's time for the judges' questions. We have 10 minutes. Who would like to start?
You're gonna start.
Yeah. My question is, okay, you explained the difference because you want to provide proof of hands-on experience, right?
Yes.
But I don't see how you do it. Explain about the projects they have to pay. Why I'm trying to figure out if somebody has a work and he has to pay as a membership and join a project because he wants to have a paper that proves he got hands-on experience.
Well, it's not just the paper. For example, in an interview or meeting people, the first thing to notice is that it's an 80-20 rule. 80% of the jobs in Canada are found not through interviews, not through resumes, not through the formal process, but just from meeting people and collaborating, which we offer to do by bringing companies in to meet these people hands-on and see them without the risk. The second part is that they can get this evidence and bring it when they want to go to those formal interviews and get that evidence. The way that we generate the evidence is through the projects themselves, has a project lead, and they get feedback from both the people involved with the project and the actual company itself, so that when the information is written out, there's a report of how the project broke down. Now the key behind it is those stories. and I'm sorry I've gone so long with this.
And we
but
gave
stories-
the example.
the,
of
the,
the
the examples
stories.
of the story. So when you go into meet someone, not even a regular interview, you meet someone, they say, oh, so you have an education in this. What have you done with it? Person who doesn't do KZM says, I drive cab. Person with KZM says, I drive cab, but on the side, I worked for Venture Kamloops on a side project, and we did some marketing. And we created these things. Now, they may not have been paid as much as if they were a full-out real marketer on their own with their own company, but they do get a good cut of the benefits that were created, and have a story to tell.
Like before I joined KZM, I was recruited by Kim. I needed a project. I don't have experience in Canada, so I needed a project. So one of our partners was New Life Community. So Kim introduced me to the Ronald Regan. He's the boss. So I got a project based on operations, which was my area, based on business operated field. So that's like a real life example.
Yeah, but I see it like a relationship, you know, how can I put it? You know, like a dating in the labor industry, you know. It's not bad, but how you do it, my question is, I understand the concept, you want to connect people in order to have hands-on experience, right?
Yes.
But the how, I have difficulty, I understand the story, but I'm very technology. If I don't see something, I'm very visual, I have difficulty to see the proof. You see, you can do it as any consulting firm or in talent firms. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
he
and
had
no.
the previous example went by. This company was a bar.
Yeah.
In the past, the Avatar.
Yeah.
It was a bar. They needed a website done, but they couldn't afford to hire a professional web developer. So Kim had the talent pool. So he got these guys who are absolutely like just doing call center job, but they had their skills in web development. 6 guys,
Yeah.
right? So they got together and did the project for them, and they got paid as well, $350 back in the days. It's not a huge amount, but it was a good start. And the company used the website for a year.
You know Odesk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that again?
Odesk.
Odesk, no.
No, okay. So they have a lot of talent, and you can work on the project, and based on that, they pay you, and they can put, you know.
The question is, when they pay you, when you do work on this thing, you collaborate with people in real life.
Yeah.
In real
They
life.
put a project, yeah.
Okay.
They put a project. You know, I want to build a website.
Yeah.
And I need this, I need designer, I need this. And people collaborate and they put the profile on, and I think you have to agree. I'm not sure if for collaboration, if they match it or not, whatever. But you can still work, but not the collaboration. I'm not sure about that. But they can put the project, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
people can work on the project.
Yeah.
And you have a feedback, how it has been done.
Yeah. Like
No.
scriptlets.
Yeah, but it's more about outsourcing.
Okay.
But the difference I see in your model, it's more about the local
It's
talent.
local. It's bringing it back to local. For example, there's things called scriptlets. You can turn around, go on. You can collaborate with other people locally if you want, if you can organize it, and go off and do some scripting for some company. But the problem being is that you don't collaborate locally. You can't reapply to those people, because if I'm doing this work and the job's out in New York, chances are of them hiring me, not likely. If I'm doing projects for local companies know local companies. That's how you get your work. So in that, we can build a brand locally. We know how our brand looks, and then we can apply that brand to bring in people who are doing these projects so that local companies can see how they're doing and choose if they want to pick them up or not.
But how you do it? That's what I'm saying.
It's very
How
similar
you
to
how you connect them? I mean, I need to see something.
It's very similar to the
Yeah.
company where we visited that woodworks company. How do they?
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Sada Innovation.
Yeah, it's a French word.
So basically,
yeah.
how do we connect it is we as a company approach other companies and say, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? We bring up from our side, you have what our people need. So we say, we have this talent pool this time, we have this much free time, this much desirability, and we say, what are you guys looking for? And the companies will say, we're looking for a website, we're looking for some sort of project to do a survey, we're looking for different marketing things. But they can't afford often to pay for a full market. They can't pay the $5,000, $7,000, $10,000. But they'll pay us much less to do that similar service with amateurs who don't have the full experience, but they have the education.
But do you do it on the website?
We do it by person to person.
Yeah,
We
well,
as a
the
company
selection,
approach the
it's
company.
a lot of work though. If
Yeah,
you-
it
you
is a
can
lot
start-
of work, but it's once you have the connections, it's very easy. I did it for 2 years. It was
You
successful.
know, I don't want to. I mean, I said my LinkedIn. I have 4,000 because
Yeah.
you know, to spend time to look for people for me is a job.
Yeah.
It's only people really need somebody. If you need somebody to connect, I say, okay, I'm gonna look over my. I'm talking about LinkedIn. I'm dealing
Yeah.
about the other social.
Yeah.
My social network is 10,000. So
Yeah.
to look after 10,000 connection for me, for myself, it's a lot of job.
Because you don't have a group that's working with you. You don't have a infrastructure that goes online and creates databases that look for specifically this reason. And it's not your job. It's not what you.
That's why we want to hear. If you told me we have a database that we can select.
We are creating that database. By now we have 10 people. It's by hand. It's within Excel. It's within MS Access.
As we said in the process about pooling members and data, what we are talking is coming with the HR background. There is something called skill set matrix which we would like to put in place, where we will have all the members and their skills based on the level of performances that they have already shown us. And we will be connecting with the people through the networking opportunities and the workshops and the seminars which we are conducting, so that we know when Brunner is on as a speaker, what kind of people he is looking at is something which he will speak to us. And we know we are going to call those members with these skills to be coming board and having those workshop or seminar, attend, connect, and then if Brunner likes anybody, we will be able to help them get on board. So it's all about skill set metrics that we would like to have. And moreover, we would like to have all the HR practices, given that both of us are into HR for more than a decade with the international experience.
So going back to the suggestion Mr. made before about the dating site, it's a bit like matchmaking, and in that sense, is there an algorithm that you would be developing in-house, or are you relying on this software that you...
So the software is not created yet. That's part of the reason why we're looking for funding, that we're developing this and taking our money and pooling it together, is to create a proper website. It's going to cost us probably to start off with $5,000 or $6,000 to get a basic website out there. To get the actual program could go into tens or hundreds of thousands depending on how big we get. But we only grow as we respond. I'm not going to take on 10,000 people from day one. We're starting off small and we're growing it as the response is.
You can buy it.
But we
If
don't
you're
want
on
that.
board,
If you need help,
Brunner, if you're on
Yeah.
board, yes, I have 10,000
We
with
don't want
you.
10,000 people unless we have the $100,000 to create the website to do it. It doesn't make sense. We're starting small and responding as we grow. That is our business
And so
model.
is there a software that's matchmaking the specific skills with a specific public, or is that something that you're going to be developing
It's
yourself?
something we're going to be developing through in-house as well as by hiring the talent to do so.
Okay. And at the moment, you're relying on what for that matchmaking? Is it?
It's a skill set matrix which is on Excel spreadsheet. Which
Sorry, I
will-
missed probably all of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
skill set matrix.
Okay.
So basically it will have this, right at this point of time, it's on an Excel spreadsheet, which
Okay.
will have a column with all the names of the people and the skills, the diversified skills that every individual has got, and a rating about each skill, which we will be seeing based on the records that they have, like, educational certificates, and the discussion that we have with them, and any other proof. So we rate them, like satisfactory,
Okay.
But
excellent.
it has to be tied to the real experience because we can't just take them by face value. Otherwise, we're just another consulting company. We're just another headhunter.
So that's how we validate the skills with this experience, and we bring that up. That would give
Okay.
you an information about what kind of people
So,
we
so
have. what
to
skills we
be
have.
very clear, we don't have that matrix now. We're growing
We-
it.
Right.
with
But
10 members,
eventually
Are
it's
you
easy.
learning from what you're currently assembling in terms
Yes.
of the skill set with the people? Are you
Yes.
learning something that's going to be able to help you make that software?
Yes, because for example, we do a lot of surveys. And
Okay, time's
surveys
up.
people- Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you all for your time.
Can I just have a
Yeah.
look?
I'm very interested. So.
I know. So basically, I just did a survey on the skills, and we had posted it among the
I can talk about it. I can talk about that. I have one of the partner. He has business to connect business and talent.
So now when we know this is the data that we have.
That'd be excellent because I want to see.
I was going to mention that
So
that the
we are all
Ashwood company, we made a visit according as part of the social business program. That what the person does is he takes those inexperienced people and puts them in a project. Currently they're working on a project on the governance.
So you say you have a connection for us that may actually help us in our
I find it's doable. You know,
You're able to deal with it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
that's true.
Yeah, but part of it is we're all students at this time.
Yeah.
We're just getting out of school. We're just getting into our stuff, and so we're not going. We couldn't quit our school to go do this. This is what we're doing.
When we have those,
can
okay?
Yeah.
You can program Google Sheets to make the factory yourself.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Yeah, of course, yes. So it's you're saying that because of technology we can take on a lot more than we could.
If you want to grow, you need to.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Like the part of this one was actually the website which Kim talked about, which we need for the example. But once we get the
Very nice. You don't even need.
Yeah. You're saying there's lots of open source stuff
Yeah,
that
open source stuff,
utilize,
yeah.
which is out there.
So
So take that. Yeah, we'll be glad to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. We'll just go ahead.
Okay, so the next
Thank
team
you,
is
Bruno.
Sophia from Germany. Sophia. Okay, good.